991 podcast. I'm Garfield, that's Gilly, Lil Tate, Thumper, and Joe. And Gilly's going to start off with talking about some food.
Yeah, today I want to bring up a little awareness that a lot of people doesn't know that it can happen. Alpha-Gal syndrome. And for everyone who does not know what alpha-Gal syndrome is, it's caused by this tick. Where the hell I got it at here? By the Lone Star tick. And sometimes people go decades not knowing what that they're affected by it. Because it goes about food, mammal meat. And the Mayo Clinic here says it's from, it says it's a red meat allergy. Well, technically they're right, technically they're wrong. It's mammal meat. That's the red meat you can't eat. Now, you can have red meat, people, but it has to be emued ostrich from a bird. And that works great. So that way you get all your nutrients the same as you would for beef. And it's actually healthier for you, too. Than beef is, deer, elk, bison, everything. And some of the symptoms of it is 8 to 12 hours later after you eat, whatever you eat, pork, beef, deer, whatever, right? 8 to 12 hours later, it can hit you like you took a whole bottle of colon blow, getting ready for a prostate exam. And then some people turn red, like I did, because I have it. I've had it since 2018. It turned red, get hives. Some people, their throat closes up, anaphylaxis shock. Some people, they just get the itchy feeling on it. And because it varies in people and people. See, like me, it didn't hit me every single time at all. It happened like every third or fourth time. But it took the doctor 6 months from September 2017 till March of 2018 to figure out what was causing it. Because when I got it, there was only maybe a handful of cases in Missouri. And a lot of doctors didn't even know what the hell it was. Luckily, I got one there to the EMU that she had seen this before. So she knew exactly what test to run to see if it was. And it came back positive for it. And what it is, that alpha-gal, that Lone Star tick, it puts a sugar molecule into your system that's not in our bodies. That's what gives that reaction to it. And where's that picture at? Oh, and here's a map I'm going to share too. This is everywhere that it's in the United States right now. It's actually worldwide too. But it starts off, even in Canada, Nova Scotia, all the way down the East Coast, down the South, all the way through the Midwest. And even now, they got some cases that's here. Let me zoom that in. All the way in Seattle, Vancouver, down to Portland, San Francisco. So it's migrating. And what a lot of people don't realize is that just because you live in town, you can still get ticks in town. A lot of people think because they live in town, they won't get it. That's bullshit. I got mine when I was living out in the country, because I mowed 6 acres. So eventually you're going to have ticks. But you can protect yourself on the ticks with, tucking your socks in, your pants into your socks, if people want to do that stuff, or use repellent. Some repellents work, some don't. That's just trial and error right there. But today I want to talk about the food part. Because most people, they think when they get that it's a death sentence. I'm here to tell you firsthand, it's like getting kicked in the nuts. When they first tell you, you can't have this, you can only eat chicken, turkey, and seafood. And some people can't eat seafood. So then they're always stuck with 2 options that most doctors don't realize that they can have emued ostrich, but it's very expensive too. So It's like $11 a pound. Not everybody can afford that. And I'm going to share some stuff here in a few minutes about, recipes that I've made that I put in my cookbook for people that have alpha-gal. And they're cheap and all that. But getting back to the food, you know, but I mean, yeah, most people, they get tired of chicken and turkey, right? But here we go. Is that showing up? Can y'all see
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Okay. All right. This one, I came up with this one called the Gilly Smoked Pickle Bites, right? Just has some Ritz crackers, pickles, Oscar Mayer turkey bacon. The turkey bacon is actually Oscar Mayer. It will actually crisp up, kind of not like real bacon, but close enough to where you get that crunch to it. Now, the Butterball does not, people, so don't get that one. Maple garlic pepper rub that I made my own. Maple sugar that I get from King Arthur's Bakery because that maple sugar, that's one of the best they got. Garlic powder, black pepper. And here's the picture of what it looks like finished. I mean, it's just a nice day, game day, appetizer, whatever, right? And here's we'll get back up here. And if you're getting frisky, whether you're high or drink a little too much beer and you're hungry, you make a turkey sausage with duck ramen too. But here's one of my favorite ones I made last year's Super Bowl. I had some chili I did on the smoker or sloppy Joe, over top sloppy Joe. I got some of that red Argentine, or AKA royal red shrimp. Put some red slaw on there. Perfect. Right there. And homemade pizza. People think that plant-based cheese won't melt. Some of it don't melt right. It's trial and error on that. But you can get that, as you see in the picture, that it will melt like a regular pizza will.
Now, Gilly,
Yeah,
you wrote this book, right?
I did, yeah.
That's pretty amazing that you wrote this book.
And
Now, you're going to make it available to people in the public eventually, right?
yeah,
It's already available?
I'm gonna post the link to it for the ebook in the comments too.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
But this one is my favorite one, and so is River's favorite one too. Duck Kung Pao pasta. 2 pounds of duck, right? Panda Express Kung Pao sauce. 4 bricks of ramen noodles, celery, red onion, 2 cups of cabbage, right? Easy peasy. It doesn't look like a regular. Most people think ramen has to have that broth, right? No, it doesn't. There's different types of ramen, like Rocky, you and I seen, Joe, in Japan.
Yeah.
You got cold ramen, you got yakisoba, all that. So
I love yakisoba. That was so good back in the day, man.
Yeah.
That was some good stuff.
Of course, biscuits and gravy. And this is the thing here. A lot of people don't want to try almond milk, right? But if you get the unsweet almond milk, it does not give that sweet flavor to the biscuits and gravy once you add it in there. So it works perfectly on that.
Gilly, are these recipes in volume 1 or volume 2? The folks got to know you.
This one's on volume 2.
Books,
I got first one I did was volume 1, but that's what a lot of people don't realize. You can still eat the same foods that you ate before. It's just, you just got to cook it a different way, and that's it. I mean, a lot of people don't think they can do it, but they can. Because they're forced to cook on it. Now, this is my take on hash brown casserole with smoked turkey sausage too. And it has no dairy in it, regular dairy in it. So, and I put like condensed Campbell's home style chicken noodle soup in there. I mean, it worked great on it. But I'll show you and I also made a white. Oh, here's one too. Smoked chicken house, people. This one's easy to make right here. If you got a smoker, dude, you just 2 whole chickens, cut them in half. Lay them on the grates, or see my smoker, I can hang mine. They just cook them till they're internal tip on the breast. I pull mine at 155, let it carry over. It comes out perfect every time.
Looks good. Looks very good.
And I even did hula chicken on chicken thighs too. So I mean, you got chicken schnitzel, did that. Oh, get back to the first one here. But people, you need just, if you like to cook, just remember, just research the different things too that you can do with everything. You know, but here's one of my favorites. I'm not a big dessert guy, but smoked apple pie. You know, and that's came out perfectly. You know, got that smoke flavor in it. Because I mean, desserts. People think it's a death sentence when you get Alpha Gale that you can't have desserts, right? Bullshit. You just got to find the right ingredients. Because you can still have chocolate, you just can't have milk chocolate. And that dark chocolate that you get, it does taste a little bit different. Some people like it, some people don't. But you could also, like the peanut butter cups, I made these. You know, half cream and peanut butter, 3 pounds of plant-based butter, a cup of Baker's Special Sugar, 2 bags of Toll House allergen-free chocolate chips, and you get those right there at Walmart. You know, now the Baker's sugar, I get that from King Arthur's Bakery. You know, but they also have chocolate that you can get too. That's, you know, allergen-free, everything on it, and this ties into like clean living again. You know, and people are forced to do clean eating again, you know, versus all the processed stuff because you can't have a lot of chips out there because a lot of the chips have milk in it. Some people can have milk, some people can't. I can have some milk products, but what it does, it makes my sinuses all wonky and stuff. Oh, and duck fat, people. Duck fat is actually, if you like cooking in lard, here's another thing right here. Walmart sells this right here from Cornhusker Kitchen. You got the, you know, regular like rendered down stuff, and they also have a cooking spray too of duck fat. And I use that cooking spray for everything that calls for cooking spray. It works great on it, and I also render down my own duck fat because where I get my emu ostrich at, I get my duck from Amber Hills out of Tennessee. And they also have a farm in North Carolina. So I get duck fat, but I have to render down right there. It's just more work, people, that a lot of people don't want to put into it. You know, because a lot of people think, oh, get back to the basics, it's hard cooking. Well, to make anything great, sometimes it takes a while. It really does. Just like making homemade pasta sauce, you know. I mean, Mac can tell you that because I know he's making some right now.
I started an hour ago and I got 2 hours left to go. And it's simple for people to do. They forget like 2 big cans of tomato sauce, like crushed tomatoes and just tomato sauce, nothing but just the puree is like less than $1 to $1, you know, for brands out there. And a couple things of ground chuck beef or ground chicken, however you need to eat it. And you're looking at like a less than a $10 meal. You know, there's different pastas out there that you can do it. Like I said, it just takes time. You don't have to get the pre-made stuff. You're paying more for pre-made stuff than you are to spend a little bit of time with it.
Yep.
You know, get back there and cook. It's easy. It's not hard. Keeps you from getting fast food. Look how expensive fast food is now. You might as well just go back to cooking.
And I finally found that picture of the Lone Star Tick. If people don't know what it looks like, if you see one of those people with that little white spot on it, and you start having symptoms, get tested for alpha gal immediately. You tell your doctor to do it. Because you don't want to be going 6 months. Some people go decades with having this, not even know it. And that little booger right there does not leave a mark, or at least it didn't on me when it bit me. I didn't even pull a tick off me, so I didn't know I was bit. But and now at least the doctors nowadays are getting they've seen it, so if you go to the ER or something like that, or your regular doctor, you know, then they have to look, see what you can have, you know, medicine wise, because there's a lot of medicines out there that you cannot have, because like some like the gel, some have like the pills have a gel, like a gel coating, that's gelatin, so you can't have that, you know, or even candy. You know, you got to be careful on the candy wrappers too on it. So you will have to read everything on the ingredients on food, medicine, everything, and even shampoo. Some people have broke out with shampoo, soap, all that, and even toothpaste too. You gotta be careful on that. Some people get lucky to use any brand they want. Some people can't. I'm no doctor, but I'm one that's lived with it since 2018, so I know exactly how much a headache it can cause people right there. But just if you get it, just have fun. It's not necessary. Just have fun with the food. If you like cooking, experiment. Different flavors, everything. You can even make your own, tacos, like Berea style tacos with them too. With the emu roast or even the ostrich, roast too. It works. So you can still have your same foods that you want. Like me, I made a White Castle. So I love White Castle. That was my favorite thing to have, right? I crave that shit. Well, my first book, I made a White Castle casserole with emu. And the picture doesn't look the best, right? But I mean, it's right there. I mean, made with emu and duck fat already put into it. Dill pickles, plant-based smoked Gouda cheese, two tubes of crushed rolled dough sheets, mustard, salt, pepper. Dude, it tastes just like a White Castle. And I have River, he's my taste tester. And he's like, Dad, this is exactly like a White Castle, just in a casserole form. I said, that's what I was going for right there. So, and also you can make your own if you like spaghetti and meatballs or SpaghettiOs, right? The SpaghettiOs right here, you can order the ring pasta. I used I used pound of Italian duck sausage in this one, but you can go half and half. You can go emu or in duck, half a pound of duck, half a pound emu if you want to. Your favorite spaghetti sauce, or if you want to make it, and it's right there. I mean, you can't get no better on that, on the cooking wise. When you got to eat clean again and stuff. Because I know Hodges, he's got some stuff on that. But first, we get that. Now, Rocky, I know sometimes with the work that you and your wife do, you've had people that has had alpha-gal.
Yeah, actually, one of my best loyal customers, actually, he has alpha-gal, but he's actually able to eat beef and chicken. It doesn't really affect him, but he showed me pictures of what he looked like before, and he lost weight. It was like he had Lyme's disease.
Yep.
He got bit by a Lone Star tick out in North Carolina. He's a landscaper, right? So I met him through landscaping stuff because they do a lot of landscaping out in North Carolina. And when we get people that have special requirements or anything like that, they'll come to me at the window and I'll talk to them and I'll call my wife over because my wife is the actual cook, right?
Yeah.
And she'll tell us like, hey, we can't have contamination or anything like that. And if we have like 20 people in line, we'll tell her we'll get you, let us finish these orders, and then we'll take care of you because she'll wipe off the grill and everything, put on different gloves and everything. My son, if he's working with me, will put on different gloves. My other son or my daughter too. That way we can give them what they need. We even have people that are vegetarians that come on board. Like last night we had a lady who will not eat anything that gives milk or has a face. I guess animals, right? And so we made her like a burrito that was just like beans and rice and all the veggies.
Yep.
And she loved it. But she tried us the week before because there was a football game on or something like that. And we made her a vegetarian style nachos with our queso. That's our secret Krabby Patty formula right there. That's one of them. And she loved it. Like she came back after eating it. She's like, I didn't think I was going to eat this thing. And she's a real picky eater. She's like, man, I wolfed that thing down in like 2 minutes. And she wolfed the other thing down in 2 minutes. And she gave us a nice shout out on Facebook today. My wife hasn't showed it to me, but she told me about it. So yeah, like I want to be able to be able to serve and help everyone, man. So we do what we can to uh accommodate people. And I know that sometimes tacos are not the most healthiest, but we try when I'm cooking the food and everything and I'm handling the meat, I take all the fat out.
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, and get back to restaurants, right?
Yep.
When you have alpha gal, you got to be very careful where you eat at, too. There's a lot of restaurants now, they know exactly when you tell them you got a red meat allergy, they know exactly what they need to do. Some don't. See, there's only one sub place here in Missouri that I will eat at, and that's Firehouse Subs. Because when you walk in there, you tell them, hey, I have a red meat allergy. They will stop the line when it comes to your order. They will wipe down everything, change gloves, everything. And they will make sure that your shit does not come in contact with any beef product or pork or whatever, right? But you got to be careful, like even at Red Lobster now, since they have like burgers and all that, steaks, because some of that seafood is cooked on the same grill. The shrimp is, you get
Hmm.
the grilled shrimp. And that people right there, cross contamination is one that gets people, bites them in the ass a lot. They're thinking, oh, just because I clean it or it's hot, that it all goes away. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't either. So my advice to anybody who has alpha gal, just diagnosed with it, my advice would be don't throw away your pots and pans, but get new pots and pans just for what you can cook, for what you can eat. That's what I did. I had a grill smoker that I had since I got out of Navy. I didn't use that no more. I went and got a pellet grill, Pit Boss, but now I've upgraded to the drum smokers. But that's one way, if you can afford it, that's the one way to avoid a cross contamination in your home. And like Applebee's, if you go to Applebee's, you get the salmon, you got to tell them you can't cook that on the grill. You can tell them you got to cook it in its own pan, either on the grill or in the oven. That's what I do. But you got to be careful. You got to read. Ask them what oils they use for frying. Like Popeyes, people think chicken's safe, right? Not Popeyes because it's beef tallow. They fry everything in. But some people it doesn't bother. Some people it does though too. And now let's get back to the other side of the clean eating side, or the beef side with Hodges or Thumper.
Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy. I learned more about that, and I've heard of it, and being a paramedic even, and they're like, oh yeah, you got to look out for these things as a paramedic.
Yeah.
It never really, I never knew anybody that had it.
Yeah.
So you're the first person I actually know that has actually had it. So it's interesting to learn and hear because I'm a carnivore. I eat.
And let me touch a little bit on that, like paramedics, the medical side right there. Well, see, like during COVID, right? They were giving shit to people that had alpha gal. They told them I can't have certain things, right? And they did,
Yep.
almost killed them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, no matter what, like in my paramedic mind, I treat you the same as anybody else having an anaphylaxis reaction. Benadryl, IV Benadryl, IV epinephrine.
Yep.
And transport, monitor your airway, make sure you can breathe.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. I'm in that mindset, but it's
Yep.
something completely different when I sit here and think about what you can and can't eat and how and you and I talk all the time about smoking stuff, like, and I always see what you're smoking and I always show you what I cook and stuff.
Yep.
And it's different because you've got bird pretty much, and I've got the beef,
Yep.
and pork. Being in Iowa, it's like a staple. You have to have pork and beef here.
And that's
So,
what it was here in Missouri for me. I had
Yeah.
a half beef in the freezer. I had a whole hog in there too. Well, I got diagnosed. Mom and Dad, they didn't have to buy meat for a fucking year.
So yeah, getting onto the clean eating. Kind of a quick introduction on how I actually started getting into it. Most recently, actually, is my health started taking a turn. I'm 44, getting ready to turn 45, and with all the stuff that has happened to me in the past with service and everything, and being blown up, and all the injuries that I've sustained and everything, my body is constantly in an inflammatory state. And I was listening to a show, Sean Ryan show, and he had Gary Brecka on, who is an amazing researcher. And the guy, he worked for a life insurance company, and he used to be able to tell the life insurance company when you were going to die, and that would determine on it whether or not they would insure you or not. He could look at your living, the way you live, the way you eat, the way your medical records and everything, and what medications you've been put on, and he could almost tell them down to the day that you were going to die, how many months you had left. So he actually changed his career because of how that was going. What's that? Oh, I thought somebody said something. Sorry. So he changed his career into how to make people healthier, because he wasn't allowed to call these people and say, hey, by my calculations, this is when you're going to die, because it was against the rules of working for the company he worked for. So he put a lot of research and time, and he's actually worked with people like Joe Rogan, Dana White. He changed Dana White's complete outlook on life, because Dana White had massive amounts of blood fat. We always hear blood fat, cholesterol, that kind of stuff. And the way he changed his health just by tweaking his diet just a bit, it wasn't even a lot. And actually, it was to eat more fat, believe it or not. It's crazy to believe, but he has a really good way of explaining it, and it makes sense. So just to touch on some of the stuff, because I'm by far no expert like he is, and I would suggest, going to his website and looking at it and exploring different ways that you could, touch base on some of this stuff to help. So a couple things that I've learned by listening to him and doing my own research is, one, folic acid is a horrible, substance to put in your body. And where you're going to find folic acid is going to be in your white breads and flour, and all that. And if it says anywhere on that container that it's fortified or enriched flour, get rid of it. That's that folic acid doesn't. If you do your research, nothing in nature has folic acid in it. It's added to it. It's man-made. Your body, most people's bodies can't process it. Go ahead, Rocky.
Do you know why they started to add folic acid to stuff that we eat and ingest?
So there's a couple thoughts behind it. They think that it helps with digestion and some other stuff. They started giving it to pregnant women. But what's crazy is the stuff that they give at birth, and he does touch base on this a lot, is they want pregnant women to pack in this folic acid, and then when the baby's born, they put erythromycin in their eyes, and then they give them a Hep B shot. What's the point of all?
Are they trying to make babies sick the second they're born?
Well, if you think about it, I mean, folic acid, if your body can't process it, it's going to have an inflammatory response, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point of putting erythromycin in eyes when they're born? They're born with their eyes pretty much closed for a while. There's no point in it. And then Hep B. Well, how do you get Hep B? You use intravenous drugs, or you're having sex, and that's the only way you get Hep B, unless the mother has it, which they would have already been screened for it. Then you treat them for it. But if they don't have it, if they were screened and they don't have it, no baby's coming out of the womb shooting up drugs or having sex. So why give it to them? So it's a pharmaceutical thing, and it's more of a way to make money. And they say it's for health reasons, and it's really not.
So it's finally coming out that this folic acid is actually not something you'd want to eat, especially if you're going to eat clean, which is very healthy for you to do, and probably life extending to a certain extent, as long as you don't get in a major accident or something.
Greatly. And we talk about environmental, right? Same with these ticks, right? It's environmental. It's what's surrounding you. And my county in Iowa, autoimmune diseases through the roof. Multiple sclerosis is one of the highest in the state. We have thousands. What's crazy is my mom has multiple sclerosis. Okay. She she's had it for years and years and years. There was an Indian doctor that she talked to that said in all of India, there was only 9 cases at one point. 9 cases of multiple sclerosis. In my county alone, we have like 1,300 in just my one county. And
Uh-huh.
so when we look at the food we're putting in our bodies with the preservatives and the anti-caking and folic acids and the water that we're drinking, because I live right on the Mississippi River, I'm literally minutes away from it. That could be a contributing factor. The everything being dumped into it, pesticides and insecticides and all this. So when we get into clean eating, we look at eating food that's not treated near what like industrial is being done.
So
You know,
is it like I remember like in the early 2000s, probably while I was on the ship and after I left, that organic food became a thing at that time. And,
yeah,
and
and
that's
that's
part of the eating clean thing, right? Or is that something just a little bit different?
no, it's pretty similar. I mean, you got to understand organic and clean are two different things, though. Too. I mean, organic is I mean that is a huge part of it because they're not using the pesticides and stuff like that. Now, when it comes to beef, right? I buy my beef from a farm. It goes straight from that farm to the butcher, from the butcher to my house. I get halves to whole cows.
Yeah.
And the farm that I buy from, he tries not to treat his cattle with any medication. Okay, they're not grain fed, they're grass fed, which is the best way. Because cows don't actually run into grain naturally, right? So all these grains and everything that they're being fed at some of these farms isn't natural. So people think, oh, I'm getting my cow straight from the farm. Well, what farm is it, and how are they being fed and everything? Because that makes a huge difference. If they're grain fed, nothing but grain fed, it's not the best for you. That's not the healthiest that cow can be.
So Jay, you had a question, right, bro?
Yeah, well, people got to remember too, when it like when you're say if you get your groceries for like Walmart or a grocery
Mhm.
store, sometimes that when it says organic, ain't truly organic.
No,
It's not. So they're still got the pesticides on them, but they just put organic to charge more. The best way to make sure that your shit is truly organic is get it from a farmer that you know and trust, just like Thumper was saying about the cattle, right?
Mhm.
Or go to a farmer's market or grow your own if you got the room and the know-how. Grow your own.
This makes me think about in the 90s before I came in the Navy, my parents would go get groceries and we'd always have apples and the apples had like this weird film on it. And my mom would say, hey, remember to wash it off with soap and water. And that was the reason why, because pesticides, and I can't remember if the pesticides started like messing people up. You know what I mean?
well, if you think about it, right,
Yeah,
pesticides are
because
going
it's
to have,
it's poison.
yeah, that's exactly what it
Poison.
is. I mean, it's poison, and you're putting it into your body. It's like heavy metals and all this other stuff. I mean, it all adds up. You're taking minute microscopic amounts, but over time, that makes a huge difference in your body. And your body has an inflammatory response, whether
Yeah.
it's achy muscles or your intestine lining or your artery lining or whatever, right? It's going to inflame and it's going to cause problems. So if you can cut as much of that out as possible, it's going to be so much better for your body. So eating the unenriched, unfortified flour, you know, it, and they always say if you can have bread like they used to have back in the day, that is the number one, type of food to
Like
eat.
the bread they ate in the Bible days.
Yeah. I mean, or even in the, 20s, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
when they were so when we were in the Dust Bowl, right? Everybody was making their own food, right? Everybody had chickens. Everybody had they were making their own bread. They were making, homemade meals. People were healthier back then. Iron. People weren't iron deficient because they were using cast irons, right? You were getting some of that iron from the cast iron into your diet. That's all I use in my house is cast irons. I have no non-sticks, any special pans or pots. I literally have nothing but cast irons for my stove.
We've actually started doing that too, like a couple weeks ago.
I've
Like
been
we
doing it
have
for
the
years.
non-stick ones, but So we work with another person, and she's about eating healthy and all that stuff,
Mhm.
right? Because she has fibromyalgia
Yeah,
and another thing that affects her thyroid, and I think it
yeah.
has an effect with
Iron,
iron. So
iodine, and iron make a huge difference on your thyroid. Your thyroid plays a huge part of your hormones and everything in your body and balancing it. So we only use cast irons in our house. We got rid of all of our other pans, pots and pans. I have one stainless steel pot. It's a big stock pot, and I
uh-huh.
used to make uh, beef broth, in my beer because I got to make beer. So, but everything else is all cast iron, and whenever we go in for blood work, anybody in, the kids or my wife or myself, we all have great iron numbers because we constantly eat out of them. I mean, it's all of our food is cooked in cast iron. So, and it's nice.
So what about copper? Because I've been seeing a lot of things lately about copper, and like I saw like a commercial or something. It was on Facebook or something else about drinking out of the copper, like a Yeti that's copper or whatever.
So they've said not to drink out of, like, don't have like Moscow mules and stuff like that because of the
Uh-huh.
copper. Because copper isn't something that you should be ingesting. It's not one of those metals that is your body's gonna benefit from. Um, they say copper is good for inflammation on the external part of your body, like if you wear stuff. But again, I mean, silver is an antibacterial.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I personally wouldn't eat off of copper. I would eat
So
cast iron only.
so do you have a list or anything of like what metals are best for us to either cook with, prepare food with, or eat with, or ingest?
So really, I mean, you don't want to ingest too many metals. Obviously,
Yeah.
the iron, the little that you're going to get off a cast iron, that's going to be good for you. But as far as any type of minerals and stuff like that goes, there's Gary Brecka on his website. He lists out a lot of stuff that highly recommends.
We need we need to pin that website on
Yep,
after this.
I
And
sent I sent one to
I got it.
Gilly
You
already.
got it?
I
So
Okay.
got I got it on my text. But talk
yep.
about minerals, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna share this real quick. Sorry, Thumper.
No, you're okay.
No, this is good. This is good.
This is the salt that I use in my grinder, right? Himalayan pink salt right there.
Yep.
Because it's 100% pure and it has a lot of minerals in it that people need too. Just like what the guy you're talking about, and the salt that you showed me earlier.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you can just get whatever one you want, but you make sure people that's 100%. You know,
So let me take my background off real quick.
yeah.
Hang on here.
No, I'm enjoying this. I'm actually learning some stuff here, that stuff that I've read or stuff that I've heard, and some of it's being confirmed, and it's really cool. And who knows? Other people may be looking at this same stuff right now, wondering, hey, should
Mhm.
I do this too? Will this benefit my family, my life, or whatever? So it's a good thing.
Well, see, because I mean, I cook with cast iron too, but I also upgraded my pots and pans to Hexclad, right?
Uh-huh.
If you do the research on Hexclad, dude, they're worth the fucking money. But I still
All right.
use. Sorry.
No, you're okay. So this is the Baja Gold mineral sea
Yep.
salt. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's a fine ground. Okay. It's unrefined.
Yep.
So it's not refined at all. It's dried solar, so the sun.
Yep.
It's used to dry it. It has the vital nutrients in it that you need. So you basically can mix 1 teaspoon of this stuff with a gallon of water and drink it daily, which helps your hydration and helps with energy and everything in your body. Um, so people look at sodium as a bad thing, and sodium is actually without getting too technical, sodium is used to transfer power inside your body in between the cells, right? You have what's called a sodium pump, and it uses sodium to transfer through the cell. And so when your sodium, the right kind of sodium and minerals and everything that you're going to get from this is going to help with that transfer. and it's going to help make it to where, you know, your magnesium, potassium is a really good one to have, especially if you're D3 deficient. Um, you need potassium to help with that D3 absorption. Um, there's no sugar in this whatsoever, no carbohydrates or anything. This Baja Gold will last forever. I take a little pinch and in the water, just a pinch, and put it in a glass of water about this big and drink it, and it's going to last me. This will probably last me a year.
Now, since we got all the salt, right? Okay, a lot of people don't know this on basic because you're a paramedic, right?
Yep.
What when people's having heart attack, what do they push through them?
You're going to push. Well, there's going to be a couple things, but
Let's say,
you're going to be your saline, which it has salt in it.
Yep.
It's you're depending on the bag. Now you don't want to turn them into Kool-Aid. Okay.
yeah,
You dilute too much and it's a bad thing. I'm a little bit different of a paramedic than others when I was, but the doctors liked it. So I wouldn't push pain meds very much.
Yeah.
Hardly ever. My fentanyl, the ketamine, I actually would use ketamine more than I use fentanyl. Ketamine was an amazing drug, and it actually helps with a myriad of things. And I'm actually getting the benefits of it right now because I just had my tooth pulled and they used ketamine and Versed to do conscious sedation. And the ketamine has actually kind of reset my brain. So I'm actually thinking a lot clearer than I was 2 days ago, which is amazing. I love ketamine for that reason. Kind of resets your brain. But, you know, getting back to like the salts and sodiums and stuff, there's a lot of benefits to with holding water, holding different. It keeps your hydration up. It keeps your muscles going. It keeps your vital organs hydrated and working properly. There's a lot to it. So when you get into the sodiums and the salts and stuff, it's the best thing to do.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to ask that question on it.
No, yeah.
Because I mean, I knew what it was, but a lot of people out there might not know. You know,
Yeah.
based on like what doctors tell you, like you said, they want to say you can't have sodium. No, your body needs sodium. You're 100% correct. Your body needs sodium to function.
Yep. Just like carbs. Your body needs carbs. Your brain needs carbs. Your brain needs sodium. It needs all these minerals, and that's what this Baja Gold helps with. Helps bring that into your body and absorb it. Now, another thing you can do to help your body with absorption of minerals and vitamins and everything, which is what I'm doing, is also doing a hydrogen water that helps. So hydrogen water is full of antioxidants. I mean, you're talking over 1,000 fruits and vegetables worth of antioxidants in this one bottle right now.
So do you buy that at the store or can you make it or what?
So you got to get the bottle itself. The bottle is what makes the hydrogen inside. It actually generates the hydrogen inside. Now I'm going to push the button here and you should be able to start seeing bubbles here shortly come up through the middle. See if we can get it.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Okay. So that's generating hydrogen right now, and it's going to go for about 3 minutes, and it's going to fill this water. And then I just drink it, and I drink about 3 to 4 of these a day. That helps with your antioxidants. It helps with absorption in your body, helps with inflammation, helps with a ton of different things inside your body. And so the more you drink, the better off you're going to be, and you're going to detoxify your body.
So how long have you been doing the hydrogen water? Is that just something brand new?
So I've been doing it for 4 or 5 days now, and I've noticed a bit of a difference. Nothing drastic yet, not like, oh my God, it's like amazing. But I've been in conjunction with doing hydrogen water, we've been doing juicing. We've been doing a cardiovascular juice and an immunity juice. So the cardiovascular juice is like beets and I believe it's turmeric. I have to look. And then the other one is turmeric, oranges, apples, and I think there was some cauliflower in there. I don't know. We've had a couple different juices that we've been using. For it's actually really well. And I mean, I actually have already lost some weight. In a couple of days, I've noticed a difference even.
That's cool. When you mentioned beets, it made me think of The Office.
Oh,
Freaking Dwight and Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
yeah.
Well,
So
and
the
beets
beet,
actually will help you lower your blood pressure too, naturally.
Yeah, I remember you were talking to me the other day about
yeah,
actually, like when it snows, you guys would put beets or beet juice
Beet
or something
juice. We do here in Missouri
on
on the
the
ground. Yeah,
on the
on the
ground
road.
to
Yeah,
make the
yeah,
ice melt or whatever, right?
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah,
It does. We do that up here too.
yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Spray the roads, and then it won't stick. Yeah, it melts. But no, beets are great for cardiovascular, like
Yep.
your arteries, your veins, your heart. I mean, your blood pressure. It helps regulate your blood sugar, which is huge. You know, blood sugar nowadays, most veterans are pre-diabetic or diabetic type 2. That's just it's crazy, and I am too. I stopped taking my meds because I'm doing all this other stuff, and actually I'm actually regulating a lot better. Um, but it's yeah, it's crazy with all the stuff because with our diets and everything that we're fed, you know, we don't really get a choice when we're underway or when you're in Afghanistan or when you're in Iraq. You don't have a choice of what you're eating. And you're eating all these fatty, disgusting processed foods, which throws off your homeostasis of your body. Now you start later on developing diabetes type 2 or pre-diabetes, high blood pressures, you know, all these other issues. And so there, my water is done now, so I can actually drink it, and it's just like drinking regular water. It takes about 3 minutes, and you know, you drink about 3 or 4 of these a day, and that'll help. The more you drink, obviously, the better. Like I said, it takes about 3 minutes. This one I got off of Amazon. It's about a $52 bottle. Um, it's
So,
not as good as Gary Brecca's. Gary Brecca's is an Echo water. Those are like $250 a bottle.
well, send me
Dang.
the
Um,
link for that one you got.
yeah,
Send me the link
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
for this one, yeah.
Yeah,
I can do that, and it's rechargeable. So
yeah,
you it just has a USB-C charger port here.
yeah.
I haven't charged it yet. They say this will last for 30 to 40, I think. Don't quote me on it, but bottles before you need to charge it. It takes like 3.5 hours to charge. So the generator is down here. This glass piece detaches. So you unscrew it from here, unscrew it from here. You can wash this. Then don't wash this, obviously. But
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, the
So do
only
they
thing
have different size water bottles, or is that the only size?
this is the only size.
Is that what
So
16.9 ounces?
I believe this one's. I don't remember. I thought it said like 10 ounces.
Okay.
I mean, it's not huge, and it's not super wide. So
And I do know that drinking hydrogen water does help a little bit. And how I know this, because at the power plant I worked at, we used hydrogen to cool the generators on
yeah,
the stator and all that. Well, one day since we had got the condensation come off, we got drained out water. I
Yeah.
tested some of it, dude, and it fucking would taste. I mean, it tasted good. Fucking, I mean, it energized you. I didn't do it all the time, but I said, fuck, I'm gonna try it, just see what it does.
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's pretty
So
cool.
hydrogenated water. I mean, it has a lot of benefits to your body. I mean, just if I were to just Google it, it's gonna tell what the benefits are. Um, Let me just get in here real quick. Let's see here. They're saying that it helps with like muscle fatigue, um, gets the antioxidant effects, improved endurance. Um, it reduces inflammation, helps with arthritis, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, um, allergies. It helps with all the inflammation from all of those. Um, Another study found that drinking hydrogen water for 24 weeks improved markers of inflammation in participants with metabolic syndrome compared to a placebo. So metabolic syndrome happens when you have at least 3 of the following symptoms: high blood pressure, high blood sugars, high triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, which is your good cholesterol, and a waist circumference over 40 inches for men or 35 inches for women. So everything that it just listed, I basically have. So, I mean, there's going to be, if I use it for 24 weeks, there should be I should have a good set here that I could actually say that this is working once I get my blood work done again, which I plan on getting done about that 24-week anyway.
Yeah, you gotta tell us and give us an update on that, bro.
Yeah, definitely. They're saying that it also, you might find other vitamins and minerals in the hydrogen water, which include magnesium, potassium, zinc, calcium, sodium, vitamin A, fluoride, and iron, because of the way it changes the water, and no added sugars. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, now that I'm on this journey of clean eating, as far as that goes, with everything else we're doing, what the results are going to be. Because, like I said, I've already noticed a difference in my weight, and it's we've been doing the clean eating and everything for over a week now. So I think I've lost a pound or two easily, and I haven't really. I mean, we went and had a cheeseburger today, you know, for lunch. I did cut out the bun. I didn't eat the bun because that's going to be enriched, and fortified. So there's a law that states that if you're selling anything made with flour, it has to be enriched or fortified. So if you're a business and you want to sell unfortified or unenriched, technically by law you're supposed to enrich it before you sell it, which I think is crazy.
And that would be the folic acid, right?
Yep.
But you go
It's
here at the
nuts.
bakery, you get it, the small bags without it.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Yep.
But it's the person's responsibility that is selling it to make sure it's enriched and fortified or fortified. So
But we know theirs ain't because we use their flour. We know the small bags ain't.
yeah, right. And so I think with this whole RFK thing, I think the enriched and fortified is going to go away, and I think that's going to be huge, for our country. Right now, I'm looking into using all natural, unpasteurized milk. I'm getting it from a farm along with my eggs. My eggs are unwashed. I've been getting unwashed eggs for well over a year now from the farm. They're free range. I actually do some predator control for them out there, mountain lions and coyotes. But the benefit of that is you have all those natural vitamins and minerals inside that egg, and it's protected, so it can sit out on the counter for 3 weeks. You don't have to refrigerate them, and that's the way they're intended to be. you know. So you're getting that you get those Eggland's Best and all these other ones that it's 6 times more protein and everything. Why? Why does it have 6 times more protein? I want to know what's causing it to have that much more, because I can guarantee you if it's causing it to have that much more, there's probably some other stuff on the backside that you shouldn't be getting.
Yep.
So I just want natural, clean, no preservatives. The app I wanted to talk to you guys about, I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can share my screen.
You should have a little
Yeah,
says share right there,
yeah. Let me see
or
here.
press Alt S.
I'm gonna go with screen. Don't mind the screen with all the apps on it, because this is my wife's tablet. There's games and stuff on it. Let me see here. Why am I on this? What?
But no, you're right. The best fucking milk that you have is fucking raw milk.
I remember,
Yeah.
man, on the ship, I started learning about bread and all that, and I bought a book about the Bible and the bread they ate. I actually still have it in my library. And then
Yep.
later on, my wife got a book called The Maker's Diet, and it was a health book about food and all that stuff too.
But the thing with raw milk is, since everybody nowadays have been drinking pasteurized milk, right?
Mm.
Your body's going to react to it. It's going to, until your body gets used to it again. Because look at the Amish. They don't have half the sickness as what we do. I mean, they still get sick, right? Don't get me wrong. But you look at them as a whole, they
Not
don't
as
have
bad
all
as
the
that.
problems that health-wise that we have.
They
Yeah.
don't have the autoimmune diseases and stuff like that. They don't have it.
Yeah. Let's see, like when I lived out in the country, we had chickens. Yeah. And I had my eggs unwashed. Period. You know, like you said, you can leave them out, but I would leave mine out if I was using it for me. But if someone wants them, I'd put them in the refrigerator, in a carton for them, right? But they were 10 times better than what you got in the fucking store.
Mhm.
Okay, I don't know what the hell's going on with this thing. Do you guys see
Try
this?
Alt S, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying here. I'm on a tablet, so
It should say screen share or something like that.
yeah,
Share
I
screen.
did. It has a share,
Okay.
but when I click it, it takes me to photo, image from file, document, web URL, screen, camera, and share a whiteboard.
Try
Screen.
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 Yeah, I did. And then it says start recording or casting with Zoom.
You don't want that one.
Cancel. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, sometimes on a tablet or phone, it's kind of hard to share, stuff on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, okay. So here, let me just do this. I'll do it on my phone. Because this app is really cool. It's free, but you can pay for the search feature. So when you're doing your grocery shopping,
Yep.
you want to use this app because it's amazing.
Is it the Fig app?
What's that?
Is it the Fig?
No, it's called Yucca.
Yucca.
YUKA. And so you scan
Why you what?
KA.
Okay.
It has like a carrot. So
I'm
it
looking
looks
for it
like
now, so that way I can bring it up on here. So here, let me do
Yeah.
this here.
so that's
Yep.
the home screen for it.
Yep.
Okay. And so when you scan products at the grocery store, it's going to show you high risk, moderate risk, low risk for additives in your products and cosmetics for women, because your skin absorbs, like when they put even men, when they put on lotion or whatever, it absorbs into your skin, goes into your bloodstream, right? So your body has to filter that out, your liver and kidneys, right? So the less stuff you put on your body or in your body that it shouldn't have, the better, the cleaner it's going to be. So this will tell you if that whatever you're going to buy from the grocery store is clean or not. And it's going to give you a warning. It's going to say, hey, this has some high risk products in it. Review these. And then it's going to give you a recommendation of what to replace that product with. So if there's a healthier choice, it's going to say, try this instead. And it's going to list out all those stuff. So anti-caking, texture ingredients, additives like preservatives and stuff like that that are bad for us. This will help you make that choice on if that's the product you want to buy or not. Super cool. Been using it now for a while, and we've actually slowly been replacing things in our cabinets and getting rid of a lot of shit. Believe it or not, there was some stuff we were like, yeah, we're not even going to eat this and just get rid of it. We're just going to throw it away because of the crap that it had in it. There was like one, I forget what it was. It had like 7 high risk additives in it and like another 6 moderate. And it was like, holy crap, like that's a lot of shit. And we never realized we were eating it, And so to clean it up, we just got rid of it. We're like, screw it. I should go get something real quick and just scan it so I can show you guys how it works and how it actually warns you about stuff. It's super cool. Actually, I might be able to do it with this salt. Hang on. Let's see, scan. Yep. So when I scanned it, this is what came up down here. Hey, see how it's green? It says 50 out of 100. So it says no anti-caking agents, which is a green, unrefined salt, which is a green. So no transformation or chemical treatment whatsoever. It's sea salt. So the extraction of sea salt is much more respectful of the environment. So it's supposed to be limited. It's to be limited in all cases. Mm-hmm. Okay. This product gets the best possible grade for salt, which is a 50 out of 100. So
we need to clip this to the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. And this is just the salt. The other stuff, which, like I said, I don't have anything in here. I can scan that it would show any warnings of. Do we have anything upstairs that I can scan, honey? Okay. She's gonna go grab something for me to scan that
Cool.
will have some
Cool.
warnings. But it's super cool because like you can just while you're grocery shopping, just scan the stuff and then I'll show you how it recommends stuff at the bottom because it's super, super cool. But Yucca is really easy to use. And it's like, I think for the whole year, if you want the search function where you can type it in and search for it, it's like $15 a year. It's super cheap if you think about it. So this is Duke's mayonnaise, which is the best mayonnaise in the world, I think.
We actually use that stuff.
It's the best. So Duke's mayonnaise is rated bad, just so you know. Okay. And it shows down at the bottom. Oh, it's scanned. Damn it. Hang on. Sorry. Let me scan this again. So it says bad. 15
Is
out of
there
100.
any mayonnaise that would be any good?
No.
That's
Homemade
what I
would be the
thought.
best. Well, homemade would be the best because, you know, so the reason why this is bad is because it's too caloric, has too many calories.
Mm-hmm.
Saturated fat, it has 2 grams. It's considered too fatty. Has a bit too much sodium. And then it has additives to avoid. It has 1 moderate and 1 risk-free. So the moderate is calcium disodium EDTA, which is an antioxidant, but it's not a natural antioxidant that you should be using. And then the paprika extract, which is food coloring, is risk-free. So it recommends down here at the bottom, it'll show different products right here, and you can scroll and it'll tell you different products that are rated better
Okay.
than the Dukes.
So you
like,
can actually, it'll actually help you learn to eat cleaner anyways, right?
Yep. So like this Spectrum eggless vegan light canola mayo is actually rated better. But the thing is if you go by Brecca, what he says, canola is not good for you. You try to stay away from canola. But there's classical mayonnaise made by Mr. Rico. That one's better.
What about avocado? Someone told me one day, like, avocado's like nature's mayonnaise.
Yeah. And actually, you know what's crazy is my wife just made a chocolate pudding out of avocados.
Really?
Amazing.
How did it taste?
Amazing. It was so good.
Cool.
Yeah. And it wasn't a hard recipe from what I understand. So maybe that's something we'll pin on the bottom, you know, one of these days with these recipes. Do some juicing recipes, some dessert recipes. I know there's one, I haven't done it yet. We haven't done it yet, but it's a egg. It's boiled eggs. You make chocolate pudding out of boiled eggs.
Dude, that's pretty interesting. I've never heard of that before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're gonna probably try that one next, but the avocado one was really good. You can taste the avocado a little, but it's not a bad flavor with the cocoa. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, dude, I love avocado because like we make guacamole out of it. We've made pico de gallo with the guacamole, and that stuff tastes good, dude. Man.
Nice. But
And
yeah,
We sometimes will put it on fish tacos when we make fish tacos. Oh,
If you make that pudding, that might be something good for like your vegetarian, customers.
yeah. I mean, I would love to do. We actually want to do a lot of that stuff. It's just I don't have a truck that's big enough for that.
Yeah,
And man, when it comes to like food trucks, like the really, really good ones that we've seen so far,
they're expensive.
they're like buying a house, dude.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
we're not always going to do this stuff forever, but
Right.
I do like doing this.
The good
It's
thing about
actually
like the
cool.
avocado pudding and stuff, you only need a blender to do it. You
Mhm.
don't actually have to have like this elaborate thing. Like same with the doing the juicing, you just have to have a juicer. And you obviously have to have a place to store the fruits and vegetables and stuff. But other than that, that's just two pieces of small equipment that you could do some major changes with your diet.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that avocado pudding was legit. It was really good. I was a little skeptical at first.
I remember one day I heard that avocado was like nature's mayonnaise. So my wife would cut an avocado out, right? And I got it and I put it on some bread and I put some like, turkey on it and some cheese. I was like, this is actually pretty good, dude.
Yeah, avocado toast, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can, once you start getting into it, you get like the unbleached or unfortified, and you make your own bread. Then throw avocado on it. Now it's way healthier than if you were to buy the stuff, and put it together. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We've kind of dove straight head first into this, and so far, I mean, there's been some times, like I said, today we went and got a burger, but didn't eat the bread.
Where did
But
you
when it
go?
comes to like making your own bread, it ain't hard. See, I got a bread machine that does everything for you, rises it, everything, mixes it, everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had one like that too. My dad used to make bread because we wanted to save money growing up. He would make our bread, so we wouldn't go and buy like, Roman meal bread or whatever, Wonder Bread or whatever the heck was out there at the time.
yeah. I messed up our KitchenAid. Had the dough hook in it. I put it in the dishwasher and screwed it up. So I got to get a new one. But yeah, we just use the KitchenAid to mix the dough and everything. But the wife is the baker. I'm the cook. I like to cook, and she's way better at baking than I am. I don't have the patience for baking.
So you guys
But
can create a lot or make a lot of like desserts that are actually healthy for you, right?
yeah, there's a lot out there. I mean, like I said, that's the first dessert we made, or she made, was the avocado pudding. But it was that chocolate pudding. It tastes just like chocolate pudding with a hint of the avocado in it. But we're gonna start trying some other stuff, seeing how that goes. But she made a breakfast drink, and it had like apple, carrot, what else? Lemons in it, and it was like a tropical drink. I mean, it was really good. She made one that had a whole head of cauliflower in it. And, I mean, super good, tasted great, and it's really healthy for you. It's got anti-cancer properties and everything. Helps with your mind and thinking clearly. So there's a lot you can do, and just research.
We got
But
to do another one of these where we talk about like food that can cause people to have anxiety or depression or stuff like that. And
yeah, they link your gut health to anxiety and everything. I mean, it's in depression. I mean, everything is tied to your stomach. So if you have your gut and it's not working the way it should, it's going to throw off a lot of other things.
Well,
So
and that's
it's
because like a lot of people eat chips, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I've been guilty of that too, especially when Lay's came out with the fungi potato chips, right? Not just the regular,
yeah,
fungi, but the ones that look like chips. Dude, that's my kryptonite right there with them some bitches right there. Oh, that's my kryptonite because I can have them. But all the sweets people eat that's processed. That's what gets people in trouble right there, especially diabetics.
oh yeah, yeah,
Because my
yeah. And
parents are
I don't eat
diabetic.
sweets. What's funny is I'm type 2 diabetic, but I don't eat candy. I don't eat sweets. I mean, half the time she'll make me a birthday cake for my birthday and I won't even eat it.
There was a guy that I used to watch, and he was on this channel from YouTube called Now You See TV, and his name was Will Schnobelin. And he had like, I think, type 2 diabetes. And he said he went to like a Genesis chapter 1 verses 28, 29 diet, right? Where they just ate like plants and seeds and stuff like that, like from Genesis in the Bible. And it got rid of his diabetes.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you cut out like breads and stuff, that's the problem is like these breads, you know, the carbohydrates convert over to sugar, you know, so pastas and breads and stuff like that. And that's where going to the unfortified and everything makes a difference too. And you kind of cut some of that out. You don't have to cut it all out, but eat it in moderation, you know. But I mean, you can still eat beef, you can still eat chicken, you can still eat all the meat and stuff as long as it's a healthy, you know, style of meat, not these mass produced farms and stuff that feed nothing but grain to their cattle. You know, that makes a huge difference. And we do the grass fed, so I mean that's all we've had for the last 5 years, I think 6 years.
Well,
Yeah.
see, the thing was when people finish a steer out right with grain, right? The problem goes back to all the pesticides they're putting on it, on the grain. You know, that's the problem with that right there.
That and the quality of fat that's in the animal from eating.
Yeah.
So like the healthiest stuff a cow can eat is the grass, you know, from
Yeah.
the blade down. You
So
know, whereas
I know my grandpa, you know, he raised cattle when I growing up and all that shit, right? He grew his own crops for them too, right? Well, the thing is, he didn't fucking throw the pesticides on the crops at all. And right before he would take them, because they was all grass fed up until about maybe 2 or 3 days, right? If I remember correctly. Then he'd feed them a little grain. And that was some of the best beef right there. Tender, everything.
The beef.
But I mean, but you don't want to fish out nowadays with that, same grain or wheat. You don't. Because that grain,
Yeah.
what it does is it puts a little more weight on them. That's what they do it for.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot faster than grass fed. Now, I'm going to
Yeah,
share
'cause they
something.
don't process it.
Have y'all heard about the lunatic blogger, right? The lunatic farmer, right? Have you heard about him?
No.
They're in Virginia.
No. Tell us about
No.
it.
Well, this guy, he does everything natural, right? All grass fed, right? And he moves his cows every single day and his chickens every day to a new pasture. Where the cows are out, he lets the chickens fertilize them. You know, and this is his blog right here, right? And I watched a show on Angel Studios about him, and it's interesting right there. That Angel Studios, they got some good content on there, especially with him. And he was actually, the government came and got his chickens and beef one day that he was selling, and confiscated all of them because there was better quality meat than what the big guys were selling. But he won that lawsuit, all that shit. But I mean, you can do it natural, like Hodges talking about, like a lot of farmers do now. You know, but he started this shit back in the 70s. And he's out there in
That's awesome.
Virginia. In Shenandoah Valley is where he's at.
Shenandoah. Okay.
And they said you can order right from his website too.
So is there any other farms where he's like connected to that they're doing the same thing in like other states like North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia?
I'm
Missouri?
not sure on that one, but he has a book out there how to do it the right way. You know?
Yeah, I think with the what has been going on the past 4 years and more, a lot of people are looking into like homesteading and eating natural and growing their own food without like the GMO stuff in it, I think. Because they're just like, I think all trust in the government and big corporations like that are just, it's almost practically gone.
Well, and if you actually go homesteading, I mean, if you actually do homesteading, it's almost it's more affordable almost too because you're growing it instead of having to buy it. You know, the initial cost startup for a homestead is expensive, but once you're established, it's not that bad because you can your practices are way better than somebody that's doing it to sell to Tyson's or whatever, Tyson Foods or these other big corporations that are pumping these chicken after chicken out and cow after cow out. I mean, their practices are a lot different. I lived in Arkansas for a year and was next to a chicken coop that sold their chicken to Tyson's, and those chickens did not look like regular chickens. Okay, those were not healthy chickens that were going off to slaughter. My cows that I had looked way healthier than the cows that go off to slaughter from some of these farms.
That makes me think of a funny video I saw on Twitter today. It was like Giggle Pops or something like that, and this chicken got into some alcohol and drank it and got drunk. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. This thing was like passed out on the ground like that. And he's like, I'm gonna wake him up. And the chicken gets up and it looks like that, and its feathers are all out. It looks like a Dilophosaurus kind of thing. And it puts his head back down. He's like, hey, wake up. And it's like that, and it just passes out. It was hilarious, man. I wish I would have sent that to people.
Well, to get back on the what I was talking about, raising next to people that raise chickens for Tyson, right? If you look right on the FDA's website, their definition of free range is just getting a little bit of sunlight each day. That's not free range, people.
No. And that's the thing is people when they think free range, you hear the word free range, you think, oh yeah, happy little chickens running around all over. No, not there. They get a little bit of outdoor time and then they get put back in, and that's it. That's all they get. They get to walk around and muck, and that's the thing too, is if you look at the farms up here that aren't doing mass production, right? It's just the actual farmer, right? For in Iowa, okay, hogs and cattle, these fields that they're kept in, there's grass everywhere, right? You look at some of these big industrial farms. I call them industrial farms because that's what they are. That they just pump it out and get as much money as they can by turning over their cattle to these companies. They're in nothing but muck. There's no grass. There's they're eating what is being fed to them, which is 90% grain and a little bit of hay, right? You get these cattle out here that are grazing and they get to move around and walk and go up and down hills and everything. That fat is so much better than the fat that you're getting on these other ones from these industrialized farms.
Because those are the feedlots there. We have here in Missouri too. But you don't buy from them. You don't buy from the feedlots ever.
Nope. And fat is good
from a local farmer, or a local rancher that does. I mean, a lot of them here in Missouri, they're grass fed up till the very end. Now, some of them will feed them grain at the very end, but majority of it, it's grass fed weight.
Yeah. I know a lot of farmers. They try to not feed them grain unless it's a really, really hard winter and they absolutely have to, or they try not to do antibiotics unless they're sick. But at that time, if I find out the cow I'm buying has been sick, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want the antibiotics and stuff. Let that go to somebody else. I'll pay for the other one instead. And he'll notify me, hey, this cow, I had it marked for you. It got sick. I had to give it some antibiotics. Are you still wanting this one or do you want a different one? And I'll say, give me a different one. And he's cool about it. He understands. He's not. And this guy sells a lot of cows, but he free ranges them. They grass fed. He makes sure that his fields are good before he starts putting them out there. And that's a big thing, is just making more conscious decisions on what we're putting in our bodies. And it's so easy to just get bogged down in everyday life and go, shit, I'm just going to stop and get a burger or whatever from here, burger from there. You asked me where I got my burger from. I got it from a place called Boozy's. It's a bar downtown, and it's a hell of a lot healthier than eating at a McDonald's or, whatever. In all reality, I know this isn't a huge thing, but I haven't ate at a McDonald's since 2006. And I ate it in Dubai on my way to Iraq. It was the last place I was going to get to eat a good meal before I got back from Iraq. So I actually had McDonald's. The last time I had McDonald's was 2006 at the Dubai airport on the international side. And I haven't touched a McDonald's since. Now I'll occasionally eat a Burger King because, the flames actually hit that burger, whereas McDonald's is on a grill, it sits in all that crap. At least at McDonald's, the flame hits it and burns off some stuff, but I try to, if I'm going to eat beef, I'm going to eat it at home because my kids don't even like store-bought beef anymore. We
Really?
had to, we didn't know, we had to emergency buy some because we forgot to take some out for dinner and thaw it out of the freezer. And I'm like, you know what, let's just get a pound from the grocery store or whatever. And it's supposed to be good, and all that. We get it home. We cooked with it. Nobody liked it. We ended up throwing dinner away and starting over with something
That
else
sucks.
because it just doesn't taste the same. When you have a real good beef from a good cow, grass-fed, it tastes completely different. That's why your grass-fed grass-fed cow's milk tastes better. That's why the butter tastes better. And those are the two things that you should be drinking is grass-fed cow milk and grass-fed butter, cow butter. Those, if you're going to do cattle, those are the two healthy things to eat and consume and use. And they're so much creamier. It's a better quality product.
Well, and the thing was with store-bought meat at any grocery store, it looks pink. You go to a butcher shop or have your own butchered,
Not
it's
pink.
deep red, just like deer is, just like
Or
Indian
brown.
ostrich. That deep red is what you want. You don't want that pink shit because then you have to put nitrates, all that bullshit in there.
It's either
Look at that
brown
pink
or deep
color.
red. Yeah, it's either brown or deep red.
Yep.
There's no pink, and that's all filler, and it's crap.
I'll tell you what, though, guys, I get excited for beef and chicken. I love my chicken and beef.
Oh, wait until I start barbecuing again. I got to fire up
Shit,
the
we
pit.
do that year round. Hell, I'm gonna run the smokers.
Well,
It's
I do
fucking
too,
10
but-
degrees outside. Come on now.
I ran out of wood. I gotta get more wood. I gotta go cut more wood because I did that whole barbecue. I barbecued that chicken,
Yeah.
that whole chicken,
Yeah.
and did the Alabama white sauce on it, and I did all those racks of ribs, and I do that. It's all open pit, so I have to use pieces of wood for that, and I'm running out. I got to run out and cut some trees down. So
Well,
I'm gonna be doing that
you
soon.
can use charcoal, but it takes a lot of charcoal to open pits like that size.
no, I actually use lump charcoal,
Yeah.
and I use wood at the same time.
Yeah.
I'll throw in a couple pieces of wood, and then I'll throw some lump charcoal in there to get that flavor, and that's the best.
So have you guys made like healthy lasagna, being that I'm wearing Garfield shirt and all?
I could make a hell of a lasagna for you.
Yeah.
A healthy
I make my pasta noodles from scratch.
Yeah, I do too.
Doing something like that. So I
Yeah.
got a pasta maker, all that bullshit, and I
got
use
these.
I use the emu with the duck fat in it, right?
Uh-huh.
Little pasta sauce. Now there's times I use the jar shit, from the store, little pasta sauce, but sometimes I do make my own. Yeah, you can make a lasagna healthy.
So I'm getting ready to make my own bacon. I'm gonna be getting big old pork belly, and I'm gonna make my own bacon. So I'll let you know how that goes.
Well, and you can also do pulled bacon too with the pork belly. You
Yeah,
can actually do pulled bacon too.
yeah. I'm gonna actually cure it up and smoke
Yeah.
it. So I'm gonna do it on the open pit. So it should be pretty good.
But I'm saying if you don't want to cure it right, dude, that fucking pulled, I've had it before. Dude, that shit's awesome. That pulled fucking pork belly. That's fucking
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, I got pork shoulder that I'm gonna do. I got pork ribs. I got spare ribs from my cow. I got another whole chicken I gotta do. I got 2 whole turkeys I gotta do. So I mean, all of mine these are all from farms. I don't buy these from stores. And I recommend anybody, if you have the chance, if you're gonna buy from a farmer, go visit him. Go out and actually walk his property and actually see these animals and how they're being fed and taken care of. Because you know what? If you're going to put it into your body, you need to be pretty, certain that this is what you're actually getting. Because it's not cheap to get a cow or a half a cow or a quarter of a cow, because you got to pay the farmer and then you got to pay the butcher, and it adds up. But in the long run, you save money and it's going to be healthier,
Well,
and that's the key, is like being more mindful of what we're putting in our bodies and actually taking that extra step and knowing where our food comes from. Because for the longest time, I'm an 80s kid. I was born in 80. We grew up on macaroni and cheese, Kraft macaroni and cheese with hot dogs sliced up in it if it was a good day. If it was a great day, we got hot dogs in it. If it was an okay day, it was just the mac and cheese. We didn't get these. We never got taught nutrition the way we should have, because that got lost when the government stepped in and said, you have to have this, this, and this in it. And that didn't happen until, after the 50s and 60s. Then,
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do a whole episode on that, but that would be like a conspiracy thing, but we're not going to touch that today.
Well, it's the food pyramid too. That's what he's talking about, where that all started from, all from the Department of Education. So, and
everything changed.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like Rocky says, that's in like big conspiracy because of the food industry.
We'll get into that one day.
Yeah.
We know
Y'all
it's not a
love good conspiracy theories.
We know it's not a conspiracy, though, that we've been eating our food blind. We've been taking the word of who has been putting it out there and been eating it, and nothing but autoimmune diseases, if you look at it from the 50s up till now, has been doing nothing but climbing up. And other issues as far as health decline, we are one of the lowest modernized countries that have the least amount of people living to their hundreds. If you look at places like Japan and look at Italy. Italy, they have a great life expectancy and they eat nothing but pasta and breads. There's a reason.
Well, they eat other things too. They eat other things. They eat beef, pork, all that.
Man, they drink wine with every meal.
But here's the thing: they don't have the additives. They don't have the folic acid.
They don't have all that.
None of that. You'll never see an enriched or fortified anything flour over there. And if you do, it's not supposed to be there. They don't allow it. It's illegal. It's just like in the UK. They're not allowed to have high fructose corn syrup. When I was in Afghanistan, to get all this cool gear that I wanted from the British, I would have my family send over boxes of Lucky Charms, and I would trade them boxes of Lucky Charms because they can't get Lucky Charms over there.
Hey, they're always trying to steal me Lucky Charms.
Dude, you'd be surprised at what they would be willing to give up for a box of Lucky Charms, dude. It was crazy. And it's just because they can't get that over there anymore. And the older guys were like, oh, you got to try this, talking to the younger soldiers because they'd never had it before because they grew up in when they banned that stuff. So they never had the chance to try it. So I had literally huge boxes, care packages sent over for them to try. But, they're not used to that. Like their Mountain Dew doesn't taste the same, as here because we have high fructose corn syrup. There's crazy amounts of different things that we have in ours that nobody else does. And it's scary. And we've been doing this our whole lives now. I mean, just blindly eating and being told, yeah, this is good for you. And it's really not.
But hey, you remember like when we used to get the Haji Dews when we were on a cruise going to the Middle East? Those were actually sodas you could drink that weren't bad for you, which is crazy to say because they weren't using all the additives that we got over here. Like it tasted different, but it was hella better.
Yep.
It's one thing I agree with the halal stuff is that, those rules are there for a reason. And those foods and everything are halal. Even the chips and everything over there, using those ingredients, just like Italy. Same thing.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. So like just going through again, using that app when you're grocery shopping, that's huge. That's going to help you. That's going to make it to where you get cleaner food or healthier food or better options. And then making the conscious decision to, if you're going to start using the Baja Gold salt, hydrogen water, juicing, putting more fruits and vegetables into your diet and just being just better about it. And I mean, it makes a difference. I've got more energy. I haven't been sleeping any better, but I've had other stuff going on with my tooth and everything else that's kind of kept me from sleeping and all my other issues. But I mean, I can definitely feel more energy, which is, I mean, if I can get more energy, I'm happy.
See, one of the best foods out there that people don't realize, a lot of us do, is local honey in your local area.
Yep.
That helps with allergies, right?
Yes, that helps
Uh-huh.
allergies, fucking immune system, everything.
It's a great antibacterial too. So if you have a cut, put some honey on it.
Listen,
It works.
See, I cook with honey that I get from my aunt and my uncle. Dude, that shit's fucking awesome, right there. And I made honey barbecue pasta with that. I took that honey, mixed it with some of that Blues Hog Champion blend barbecue sauce. Dude, I make pasta with that. I make tacos with that. Everything. Because Rocky, I sent that picture of the tacos, last ones I made, the barbecue ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dude, that was fucking awesome right there.
I'm not showing an endorsement, but there is American pure honey out there.
Yeah.
Silver Blossom's what I've been using, and it's nothing, just honey, and it's made in the U.S. This cost me like $16 for a 32 ounce, and you can see there's very little use. You don't need a lot of honey.
Yeah, I use honey that's literally made here in it's like not even 15 miles away from my house. There's a bunch of farms around here that have honeybees and they sell raw honey. And the honeycomb, you eat the honeycomb, and we'll do that all day long. There's probably 15 to 20 farms within a stone's throw of my house that sells honey. And so we just buy from local here, and you can definitely taste the difference, than the store bought stuff.
Definitely.
Our farmers market.
Because that's Pennsylvania. That's another thing people forget. Amish cooking. Amish cooking is another one of those big staples. If you can get recipes from the Amish, because I grew up near an Amish community too.
Yep.
And it's totally different food. Totally just way better.
Yeah, we have Amish here too in Iowa, and they have restaurants and stuff, and they're famous for going to the restaurants and eating there, and the quality is so much better. It's all homemade. It's all homemade right there. And that's the thing, is just getting back to that, cooking your own food, knowing what's in it, getting your ingredients gathered and cooking your own food instead of throwing it into a microwave and hitting a button, having the plastics and everything else. It's just so much better. I can't say enough about it, and I would highly recommend people watch that episode with, Gary Brecka and the Sean Ryan show, because he really opens up about a lot of different things and explains it a lot. He breaks it down Big Bird style, so people like us can understand it. So definitely look into that, because it definitely helps with the pain. I mean, inflammation, pain, energy, just overall. I stopped pretty much taking my meds, and I'm going to see. I don't suggest anybody stop taking their meds without talking to their doctor, but with my medical background and everything, I'm going to stop taking them just to kind of see how I level off. And so far, my blood pressure, I've been taking my blood pressure on a regular basis and my blood sugars, and I have leveled off, and I actually shouldn't even need medication now. So my A1C is actually below the pre-diabetic threshold now. And yeah, we're gonna check this out, see how it goes.
Well, it's like you, Rocky. I mean, you're cooking everything fresh for the food truck, aren't you?
Yeah.
And look at the amount of customers that you have that want that just fresh food.
I mean, it's weird. Like, I can tell you, when I started doing this with Heidi after I got out of the Navy, well, before I even retired, we started the food truck because she asked me permission to buy the stuff and all that. And I said, yeah, you can. And it was like the quality of food that came out of a food truck was better than a restaurant. And a lot of restaurants closed down. But I mean, where I live, there's always like a restaurant that's starting up, but then it's closing down, and some of the food trucks, because if you have the same type of food being served by all the restaurants and food trucks, you're not going to get a variety. And it seems like a lot of people are willing to try other stuff. And I can tell you from experience, like when I started the taco truck, we made my family recipe of ground beef tacos, right? Ground beef, that's what I say. But it we would sell out on that all the time. And they were not sure about birria. And we'd like, okay, here's a sample taco. We make them a sample taco, or I'd have my wife make a sample taco. We put birria on one side and chicken on the other side, right? In the whole taco. So one end was chicken, the other end was beef, and they try and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this is good. How many of these can I get?" And I'm like, "Well, we sell them in this pack or this number." They're like, "All right, I'll take 4." You know. So it's pretty cool, and I enjoy it because I really don't get sick of the food that I make. My wife does, but I don't get sick of it. I
And you're
can't
not
keep
the one
up
cooking
with
it.
it.
You're
Huh?
not the one cooking it. She is.
She likes it when I make the tacos too, right? And I'll cook her a taco and she likes it because I made it for her, because it's like I didn't make it myself, you made it for me. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. You
You
know.
know what's crazy is I dated this girl that she was a vegetarian, and then her son had to eat vegan, right? Because of his allergies. And so cooking was like chaotic for me because I like meat and I like, different things in my food. And I couldn't cook. I had to cook three different meals basically. She would eat what he ate. So she would eat pretty much vegan most of the time. Um, and then I would have to cook myself something separate because I didn't want to eat vegan all the time or vegetarian all the time. So getting into like this clean eating now, it's crazy because it doesn't limit me what I can eat. It just limits and makes me understand what the ingredients are better. So like for you guys with that food truck, I mean, I don't know where you get your beef or your chicken from or anything like that, but maybe that's gonna change and you can advertise and draw in more people by saying, hey, these are the ingredients we're using and these are the this is how we can tell you, certify it that it's clean, and you're going to benefit from it by eating healthier, whether you're vegetarian, vegan, or a carnivore. you know you can kind of cater to those people, and that will help. And not only are you're going to be eating cleaner, but so are they. And not many, I can tell you right now, not many food trucks can say that they are that clean, because I worked a food truck, and there's no way in hell I could say, oh yeah, this is clean eating, because it was a barbecue truck, and I ran a barbecue truck hardcore. And I mean, the the meat he was getting was all from Sam's Club. That's not clean. The fries, those were from Sam's Club. Those are full of starch and everything else. It's like, do your own. And he would have made way more money, I think.
Well, I think, like Rocky, back to your point about restaurants shutting down, food trucks, everybody's all about convenience. That's where we're at with all the pre-made meals and stuff. It's all
Yeah,
about and food trucks offer that quick on the go, you know what I mean? That's just taken over. If you want to leave a tip, you can leave a tip form. It's not expected from a waitress or a waiter. So you can,
Yeah, I mean, they asked me like, "Hey, do you want to leave a tip?" I say, "If you want to, you can. We just appreciate your support, and come back again."
yeah, but you can be that quick and easy meal that gives them clean, good food too that they can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, I want to share something with you guys. It's a funny comic from the Far Side, and it says it's about vegetarians after the kill. I don't know if you guys ever seen this, but if you've ever seen the Far Side comic, this stuff is funny. I loved it. Early vegetarians returning from the kill.
Yeah,
It's just, I don't know. It's funny. But
Back in American days, right? What's the bad word for hunter? Vegetarian.
yeah,
Because we're not designed to eat fucking, vegetables and all that all the time. We are designed to eat fucking meat. That's
Oh,
what we're designed for, people.
No, I disagree with that. I think we were omnivores. I think we're supposed to eat both. I don't think you're supposed to be on any strict diet.
What
But
I'm saying, but what I'm saying is the people that strictly eat vegetables, right? They're sicker than hell.
oh yeah. Nowadays, that's another conspiracy because if you watch when true vegetarian became popular, you'll see the food industry. There's you know studies and articles on this. They shifted their product line to become, in that market. So you lost the original like vegetarian dishes, and now they're just same shit. Look at Beyond Meat, same shit.
But you got to have meat for that B12, naturally. Because I know this for a fact. When I had to stop eating red meat until I started eating emu and ostrich, my B12 levels was down.
Yeah,
And I took all
B12,
kinds of
creatine,
supplements. I had to take
yeah.
the vegan supplements, right? I was taking like 12,000 units a day of that shit. And it barely raised it. And then as soon as I started eating emu and ostrich, dude, they skyrocketed it. And I wasn't sick all the damn time. I had more energy. Then I went back to the doctor after eating red meat on the emu and ostrich for like 3 months straight, right? Every day. She says, how'd you do it? I said, emu and ostrich. Because she had patients that had the same problem I did. I said, here's the link, website, tell them about it. That she did.
How
And
often,
their B12 levels came up naturally.
Gilly, how often are you eating ostrich egg?
Huh?
How often are you eating ostrich egg?
I don't get ostrich eggs. They don't sell them there. I like to get one. Hand on them, some bitches.
Because one of those, man, those will
They're fucking huge.
yeah,
that's
like eating a whole
ostriches are
carton of
fucking
eggs.
huge. But they don't sell them. They sell the shell, not the whole egg. I'm like, come on, sell me the egg, everything, so I can have that one big old egg.
That they sell eggs around here.
Not the ostrich, they don't, do they?
Yeah, there's places you can get ostrich eggs.
I ain't found them here in Missouri yet.
The Midwest started out their the ostrich in Indiana. They started selling.
See, like here in Missouri, you can't get the emu and ostrich meat. That's why I have to order it in from Tennessee or North Carolina. But I've never found any like whole grocer, right? Natural foods, right? Selling, emu and ostrich eggs yet. I have not. And I don't know of anybody anymore here in mid Missouri that actually raises fucking emu and ostrich. Now, there used to be a couple right outside 30 miles from here, from Boonville, that used to raise them, but they quit doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wish I still lived in the country. If I still had, 6 acres out in the country, I'd have me an emu and ostrich.
Because those ostrich eggs, man, one of those is like eating a whole carton of eggs.
Yeah.
That's
why I
so
want
good
to get my
for you.
hands on one. I mean, dude, I can make a hell of an omelet with that son of a bitch.
That's top dollar though. Because I had a buddy growing up. They had like 4 ostriches, and they're dumb. They're dumb. I don't know if you know this, but in their barn, they had to put chicken wire in all the corners because the ostriches, they'd go into the corner and get stuck, and they wouldn't know to turn around. And they'd literally run into the corner until they killed themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Bird brains.
So they literally have to like round those corners, so that way when they hit it, they can walk out of the corner. But the eggs, man, they're like this, and they would sell them, and they would make so much money off of just one, and they would have so many of them. And every once in a while, they'd crack one open for breakfast and cook it, and then they'd let me come over and have some.
Yeah.
But
You guys ever watch that video? There's like a girl that works on a ranch or a farm, and I think it's an emu. And she's always trying to make a video, and that bird tries to attack the camera.
Yep.
That's what it's making me think of, man. It's funny.
Hilarious.
Well, because emu and ostrich, right?
Yeah.
Everything is top dollar. I'm going to show you what it costs for an ostrich steak, right? Where I get mine at.
Well, hell, I went to get some gator, and I was looking at gator on Amazon. Oh, they want like $100 and some bucks for 5 pounds.
Yep. I'm gonna share this real quick.
I'll go down south and get me a gator.
Yep.
Cheaper.
I'll share this real quick. This is from where I get mine, Andrew Hills, right here. Dude, the 46-ounce cut of ostrich filet, which those are very tender when you smoke them, right? $14.68, right? Just for one. But then you want to go up to a little bigger size, 14, 16 ounce, $44 a fucking steak right there.
Jesus.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's comparable to what beef is in the grocery store right now.
But
Oh,
they're a
yeah,
lot
maybe.
smaller though. See,
Looking
these
at-
are a lot smaller though, too. Right now.
Okay.
So we don't have that much time to go to the store and get what we need and come back.
That's
Okay.
cheap at that.
And I'll show you how much EBU is
I think we're getting ready.
with the duck fat.
That's what you said
I
an
know.
hour ago.
$12.95 a fucking pound. Right there.
Duck fat.
The duck fat. You know,
But yeah, that's kind of expensive. I didn't realize that it was that expensive. I mean, I know it's expensive, but like I said, I have only had the eggs. I've never actually had the meat.
That's because they hide it under the category of exotic meat.
Yeah,
but
but see, I'm all about. I'll eat bison. I love bison.
the bison's expensive too.
We got a bison farm down the road here, and oh man, some good stuff. But you gotta be really careful cooking it because there's no fat in it.
That's
It'll
what
dry
they
out
say
super
with
fast.
EBU. Same with EBU and ostrich, right? That's why I get the duck fat in the ground
Duck
beef,
fat.
right?
Yeah,
Because if you don't, it's just like cooking bison, elk, and deer without any
Yeah.
fat in it. But Little
Yeah.
Tate's right. It's the same price. It's comparable to what a beefsteak is, right? But the downside is the EBU and ostrich steak's a hell of a lot smaller. That's the
I'll
only
be honest.
downside.
Yeah, the price per pound is almost the same thing.
But you know what's crazy is I get my beef and I pay way less. I
Yeah,
think
if you
I
go to
think right now, to the farmer, it's $2.90 a pound. To the farmer. Then the butcher, I think, is like another, I want to say $1.90 something.
See, it
A
used to
pound.
be, when I was doing when I was getting doing the beef and right there, right? The butcher was always the cheapest part of it
Yeah.
versus, buying it from the farmer or the rancher.
Yeah, I mean his cost is a lot less than the farmer. I mean the farmer's
Yeah.
got a year into that thing, but I mean I'm still paying way less than what you're buying at the store.
Because you're buying in bulk. You're not buying individually,
Yeah.
you're buying bulk. And
Yeah, it doesn't
you get
matter if it's a steak or if it's ground beef or if it's a roast, which you go to the store, all three of those are going to be priced differently per pound, whereas I'm paying a flat rate per pound for everything. I mean, I think this last cow, I had almost 400 pounds of ground beef.
And the
I mean,
thing is, too, though, if you want, if you take it to the butcher shop, dude, you can have it, cut however you want, whatever
Yep.
cuts you want. If you want the whole thing in ground beef, you can.
Oh, you
I
should see
don't-
how much beef stock I got. I we just made a bunch of beef stock from beef bones. I got like almost 8 quarts of beef broth.
Yep.
Just right there, boom. And we're getting ready to make tallow too. Once we get our next cow, which will be coming up here soon in the spring, I'm going to get a bunch of beef fat, make my own tallow, and then that way I don't have to worry about it because it'll last more than a year till I get my next cow.
Yep.
We go through about a half a cow a year, if not a whole cow.
That's like every time I get a hog, right, I'd get it from a local person.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want my hogs. I told them, and they knew how I wanted my hogs. I said, I want between 300 and 350. Because everyone's like, well, you can have hogs 250 to 200. No, you don't, motherfucker. You don't want them lean. You want them fat. Because I want that lard. Because that's when I fried fish, had fish fries, that's what I used was lard. Plain and simple. Making pies. Lard is the best thing for making pies or whatever.
Gross.
The bigger the hog, the fatter the hog, the more lard you're going to get.
Yep.
There. And the meat tastes better the fattier it is, I think, on a hog. I don't want a lean fucking hog. Fuck that.
You gotta be careful where the fat's at. Like I've had a couple times where it's in the bad
Well,
spot.
yeah, but yeah. You showed me those pictures. Little Tate, you still got that picture of that fucking that big old girl saying she gonna lose 50 pounds because of Trump's coffee?
I do still have it pulled up since I was gone, but my computer was right where I left off. 1 second. I
Well,
mean,
so-
you know, if Trump's, you know, prices, you know, going up so high, I mean, this could help somebody, you know. This is what she's claiming.
Yeah.
The key thing about America, and that's what RFK Jr. was going on, like we talked about, we're talking about now, is morbidly obese people. We weren't like this 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Nope.
Scroll down a little bit, and you'll see a picture of her stand next to fucking cheese puffs, like 10 foot tall.
I don't see that. What are you talking about? Oh, is that the Twitter pic? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And she wonders why she's fucking obese. Come on.
Yeah, and that's why everybody look at that. Look at the amount of just garbage that you know is going out to the consumers.
Processed everything.
Yeah.
But it tastes good.
So crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's like when Fritos first came out, right? They wasn't all that processed shit when they first came out. The guy got the recipe from this old Mexican dude that was a street vendor, right? I got that
Yep.
recipe, and then over time they had to get bigger when they started growing the company. You know, serving America. Then they started really doing processed shit after the 60s or 70s, right? You know,
I
chips
think they
back then
didn't
were
they go
better
back
for
to
you.
their original ingredients. So it's just corn now.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah.
And I remember potato chips because
Oh,
every year we went to a field trip in grade school. We had a potato fucking chip factory in Missouri. So we would tour that. And dude, they used real potatoes. I'm sure they all do, but they didn't make them like they did now. Everything was better for you back there in the 80s. You know, on the potato chip side. Not always, but the local ones was a lot better for you. I thought anyways.
well, and you can taste the difference nowadays.
Yeah.
From
80s is the 80s is when all the pre-made shit started really coming out.
Yep.
That's the TV dinners and all that, like big
yeah,
time.
70s like got that really big.
70s
Yeah.
were TV dinners, but they get big until the 80s when both
Well,
parents were working.
They marketed it towards kids. That's when it got big.
Yes.
Is because when it was just a husband and wife at home back in the 70s, they weren't
60s.
really eating that stuff. But then in the 80s, when the women started going to work more, then they started marketing it towards kids. That's when they it was what was it, the late 80s, early 90s when they came out with the kid cuisines and stuff like that. And it was the TV dinners.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's all
Lunchables too.
processed.
And Lunchables.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Lunchables have been around longer than what people think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it's
Because,
just crazy, and that's why I hope that this episode kind of wakes people up a little bit more and kind of gives them an option or an ability to at least to say, where do I start?
Yeah.
Because this by far is not everything that we should be doing, but it's a good start.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you can slowly start working your way towards that clean eating, your inflammation and mental health and everything else, physical health, will get way better. It'll start to improve. So you'll start seeing this passing, all their processed foods diving down to clean and all your health, climbing up. So that's the key to this, is getting us back to where we need to be. I mean, I'll never be 18 again, but I can tell you, I can at least get out of bed within 30 minutes of waking up, because right now it takes me about 30 minutes to be able to get out of bed after I wake up because of my body hurting so bad.
But it's all about discipline too, though.
Yep.
It's about discipline. I mean, I even mess up, okay. I'll start feeling better, eating clean, right? And then I'll start eating chips again. Then I'm like, fuck, I gotta start eating clean again.
Yep. That's why we threw ours away. I'm like, we gotta get it out of the house, otherwise I'm gonna start. What's cool though is my kids are on board. My kids love to eat.
Yeah.
When we go to restaurants, they'll eat salads. They'll order salads. And it's crazy. Like, they'll order salads and the waitress will look at them like, what else do you want? And they're like, nope, that's it. But I made kimchi. I made homemade kimchi. My son loved it, gobbled it down, absolutely loved it. Anything fermented helps. Kimchi, and your sauerkraut, all that stuff is good for your gut. You know, eat that kind of stuff.
Cottage
And
cheese, that's the one if you can get all natural.
homemade yogurt if you can, you know, and that's not hard to make. Homemade Greek yogurt is super easy, especially if any of your wives have an Instapot. You can make it overnight. It's super easy. You just need a good whole milk, and you can make ricotta cheese. She made ricotta cheese. We used arugula and ricotta cheese. Put that on pizza. We made a pizza with it. Homemade ricotta cheese. It was good. You know, so
And
but
I like that keys back into the homemade stuff is that everybody's gotten away from taking the time to cook because everybody's in such a fast-paced fucking world.
yep.
Nobody wants to slow down. They still want to have that convenience. And don't get me wrong, I used all that shit, back in the day. When we were, roommates, it was quick and easy to make some hamburger helper for everybody.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean the thing is like you gotta it's all about time management, food prep it. That's where we are right now, my wife and I, because we do have kids and we got shit going on, and you know, it's we're prepping, and I mean we juiced a bunch of stuff. So we have an immunity and then the cardiovascular juice. So we have two different juices already pre-made. All we got to do, we got these little shooters, little glass containers. We have the immunity ones in that. So all we got to do is grab it, open it, slam it, put it in the sink, and wash it for later. And it's boom, 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 super easy. We got a week's worth of juice ready to go for each one. And then the meals, there's some of these meals you can make within 10, 15 minutes. I mean, it's not too hard. It's just,
The key
like you said, the discipline of doing it.
is what I found funny from the Navy is how they themed every day for a meal. I've
Yeah.
thing and it's kept me on a good schedule because it's like turning it into a 21-day meal cycle. So I
Mhm.
already know what I need to get ahead of time. It's like Thursday is always Italian day. Tuesday is always Taco Tuesday. Wednesday is Wacky Wednesday. So it's like, you can, free range on that. That's just how I've been doing, and it helps a lot because then the kids and everybody knows, okay, this is what's coming up to keep. And it's like, okay, cool, and you can go from there. It helps you get ahead. So, like you say, time management, using that old 21-day cycle does suck underway, but it does help because you can come up with all the recipes for that day and cycle through a whole month and never eat the same thing.
Get some more without you.
Okay. Hang on. I'll leave. All right, guys. I got to go to the store. I'll talk to you guys later.
All
All right, you take care.
That's it. But if people, like if they're in a rush, they want they forget to throw the slow cooker, right? Dude, get it. It's the pot. Dude, fucking less than an hour is done.
Grandma lived off of a pressure cooker, dude.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up, was like pressure cooking, learning how from grandma and everybody to get everything ready. Pressure cook and then simmer.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you could take fucking pork shoulder in a pressure cooker or Instant Pot. I mean, same thing. Now it's just a little nicer now.
Yeah, it's just digital.
Yeah, but you can fucking cook that in under an hour, and that bitch is tender as fuck.
Yeah.
Versus fucking 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours on a smoker or on a slow cooker.
Well, I just did that shredded beef taco with a London broil, which is really cheap, but it's a really tough cut of meat. It took me about 50 minutes in the Instapot and then put everything together and let it simmer for that chili, shredded beef chili. And, that was what, $20, and I still got leftovers and it fed 5 people. So, these things that people complain about aren't that hard. All you got to do is ask. People know. You don't have to watch the cooking channel and have all these fucking fancy skills and shit. It's just get in there, chop up some vegetables, put together, and go down, man.
I mean, your vegetables don't have to. They can be chunky, or they can be sliced thin. It depends on how you want them sliced.
Yeah, you don't have. You're cooking for your family. You're not cooking in a restaurant. So buy onions. Onions is a big one too. Like everybody needs to get back to eating onions.
Yes.
Helping out. And that's a key thing. Like any of those vegetables, it's all rub chop. Call it a day.
And people need to get back to eat more garlic in their stuff too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
garlic. I think that's what's helped our family so much is I'm a big garlic fan, and that's always kept my cholesterol low. Like everybody's cholesterol is always low because we're always using garlic.
Well, that's the
And I'm
cholesterol
talking-
is another thing too, because I came across some stuff that we'll talk about another episode on that. You
On
know,
garlic.
no cholesterol,
Oh yeah, yeah.
because what they're telling us ain't right.
Are you talking about LDL and HDL?
Yes, yes.
Well,
That's
we'll
that's
talk
for
about
another
that.
episode right there, though,
Yeah.
because that gets a conspiracy theory, but it's not really a conspiracy theory at the same time on that one. It was.
Well,
But yeah,
I think
huh?
I think we've covered a lot today.
Oh yeah, we have. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah. And if you want, if
And
you
we
want
said
to
it with minimal cussing in it.
yeah, I can scientifically agree with that, cousin. So,
We can talk without saying bad words.
I want my sentence enhancers back.
Yeah, I know. But I got to get going too soon, boys.
I got to get ready to finish up dinner because I got other stuff to cook. So,
all right,
All
let's
right.
go ahead and close it out, Rocky. Close it out.
Well, I was
Oh.
dealing with someone that had anxiety today, and it made me think of a Bible verse. For you that believe and don't believe, this is probably good stuff right here. It's Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." So, if you believe in God, trust in him. Don't lean on your own brain thoughts and feelings, and he's going to direct your paths. He'll put you where you need to be. That's all I got for you guys.
sounds good.
All right.
To say God has a reason for everybody. Just because you haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's not there.
So you don't need to worry all the time, even in times where it's kind of crazy like right now. And with that, adios from the Pfeiffers. We'll see you again next time. Fair winds and following seas.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next Sunday or this Sunday.